Welcome to another episode of Willows Beyond the Gym. My name's Troy Morgan. I'm lucky enough today to be joined by Michael Blaze. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks, Troy.
Thanks so much for coming in, mate. I'm really looking forward to this. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably longer than both of us would want to admit. But really interested to have a chat about your journey, but also an exciting program we've got coming up here at Willows, which is our Realign Mind, Body and Breath, which we'll talk a bit about later. But really excited to have a look at this program, but more excited to have a chat about your journey and the role that your beliefs with yoga and breath work play in your life. First of all, let's start. What role do you have here at Willows?
I teach 6 classes a week. I teach some yin yoga, vinyasa, breath work.
Yep.
And then my friend Henry and I keep the gym nice and clean.
Nice and clean, and gym floor work as well.
Gym floor work, yeah.
And you're studying too, aren't you?
Studying psychology.
Yeah, excellent. So you keep nice and busy.
Yeah.
One of the questions I do ask the guests that we do have in, with the amount that you have got going on with study, work, time, how do you manage your time?
That's a good question. I'm getting better at it, but I just block out kind of not negotiable time slots throughout the day.
Yeah.
For study, and for just for mindfulness, I guess, or just to connect with myself. So that could be yoga, it could be just a walk in the park, could be reading a book, just a little bit of downtime. Yeah,
that's fair. That's been a common answer with a lot of the guests we've had, is around that blocking of time. But also what I'm loving is that the importance of having time for yourself as well, particularly with how mental health is across the whole of society. So very common answer coming across. Now, you've played a lot of sport. We've played sport together as well. I've seen you play footy, touch football, basketball, you name it. You've been pretty talented with all of those things. Your journey with yoga, how did that start?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So I was working at Suncorp back in 2007, had a little bit of a midlife crisis, relocated to the Sunshine Coast and started working in hospitality. So I was doing really long hours, concrete floors on my feet. And someone recommended a chiropractor. So I went to a chiropractic center, which just happened to be right next to a yoga studio. And Howard, the chiropractor, was practicing yoga. He was involved with all the elite triathletes on the Sunshine Coast. And he recommended, as part of my chiropractic treatment, to go and practice yoga. I did one class and something shifted. I still to this day don't know. I can't, put words to it, but it just resonated with me. And then I went to that studio 3 or 4 times a week for about a year, and just decided that it, improved my well-being so much that I wanted to share it with other people. So I decided to pursue a teacher training course.
That's great. And you have done a lot of training. But what particular areas of yoga do you practice yourself, but also enjoy teaching the most?
Yeah. For me, my favorite practice is breathwork or pranayama.
Yeah.
Just in terms of increasing lung capacity and wellness and consciousness, and just overall well-being has been a game changer for me. But as a teacher, I'm more at home as an educator or a facilitator. So I'd like to teach content, educate people about yoga and the deeper aspects of yoga, as opposed, I still enjoy teaching studio classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more at home as a facilitator or educator, which I've done quite a bit of.
That's really interesting. And because yoga, I guess, the fitness industry is really terrible at taking something that's great and very meaningful, and I call it fitnessizing it.
Yeah.
And have you seen that happen with yoga? You talk about education, etc. Have you seen that it's just looked at as extra stretching or something like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And particularly post-COVID, where everything sort of got shortened and made more convenient, to try and fit classes in. Like traditionally, when I started teaching, it was very rare to find a class that was an hour.
Yeah.
They were either 75 minutes or 90 minutes. So it really allowed you to do a good chunk of meditation, good chunk of pranayama, and then a good chunk of, the yoga practice itself.
Yeah.
I just find that people are think they're time poor.
Yeah.
So, chunk it down into an hour, get in and get it done. But yeah, that what you said there about fitnessizing it, I think it takes a lot of the tradition out of the yoga practice. So it does just become more like stretching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what benefits do you see, I guess, first of all, let's start the benefits you saw in your own life from yoga beside the reduction in pain. What other benefits did you find from your breath work, from different disciplines within the practice?
Just connection to self. I think you get a deeper understanding of who you are as a person, vicariously through those practices. For me personally, it just changed my life. I went through a bit of a dip. As I said, I had a midlife crisis, and it really, it holds me up.
Yeah.
And when I do move away from it, if I don't practice for a couple of weeks and then I come back to it, I'm like, this is why I practice yoga. It's very grounding, very therapeutic. And just a really effective way to get to know yourself as a person. I think there's a lot of people out there that really don't know themselves.
It's really good. So there. And is it rewarding to see those that really start to practice consistently in the classes that you take? Is it rewarding to see those changes in others as well?
Oh, absolutely. It makes my day. There's just today I was talking to one of the clients that we just come out of a stretch class, and he's a runner. I just, you find that yoga is helping you running, and he said 100%. He's not as stiff afterwards. So for some people, it's just that backup to keep them, to maintain mobility and flexibility and maybe just a little bit better lung capacity. And I really enjoy teaching people that are absolute beginners, because you can see within the space of a couple of weeks by practicing yoga that the changes, they're very, very evident in those first few weeks.
It's great to see that message go more into mainstream. And I spoke about earlier that we've played a lot of sport, and to think back when we were in our prime, if you would have said you're going to do yoga as part of your training, you and I would have laughed at that. But to see it being practiced at NRL level and within a lot of elite sports, it's just such a great thing to see, isn't it? And the benefits, getting that message across to young athletes is something that I think is really important. Athletically, what you talked about a runner there before, but athletically for an elite athlete, what sort of benefits are they getting from?
Well, I'll go back to saying that the chiropractor I went through, so he's working with elite triathletes. Now, people who are in that a lot of their movement is linear. So they run, they swim, and they cycle. And so their lateral movement is really, really bad. And so coming into a yoga practice, this is why these guys, I think it was the number 1 and 2 in Australia they were at the time, came to yoga simply because it improved their lateral movement. And they did some research with those athletes through the chiropractic center. So they had them practice yoga, have these chiropractic sessions, and overall it improved their times.
Wow.
Just by simply having more openness in their body and being able to breathe more efficiently. Yeah, so that was a real eye-opener for me. I hadn't even started teaching. I mean, I was early into going along to classes. So that was the penny drop there for me as well.
And those split seconds as an elite athlete, they're what they're searching for, aren't they? So you can understand why it's starting to become more mainstream in athletic performance as well. On the other end, and I know you've had some health challenges recently yourself, the role that yoga plays in your health journey, would you mind sharing some of your story?
Yeah, so in 2021, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which is it's a chronic pain condition, but they believe it's the nervous system just becomes hypervigilant, either through some emotional trauma or some physical trauma that you've had throughout your life. So I'm in constant pain, and I just find that yoga really helps because it allows me to, one of the tenets of yoga when we're practicing is to get used to sensations in the body. So example, the stretch sensation. If someone's never stretched before, and they stretch, they're like, oh, wow, what is that? So for me, the practice of yoga, particularly yin yoga, teaches you to be less reactive to sensations in the body. And that just allows me to be less reactive to the pain. So I'm more proactive and just aware that it's there. And, then I can utilize breath work and mindfulness and just sort of this idea of non-attachment to what's going in the body. So that's been really helpful for me.
That's excellent. So I guess we've gone from the elite athlete to how you manage a chronic disease, and probably those that are listening out there that are having issues with chronic disease, there is a space with it that yoga can help no matter what the member may be going through or someone listening may be going through. It can help in most conditions.
Yeah, well, a lot of people aren't aware of it, but yoga as a practice was initially a healing practice. So the byproducts are you get more flexible, you get a little stronger, and you might increase your lung capacity. But it's initially was a healing modality. And they have a training you can do, which is called yoga therapy. And so the yoga is used as therapy to help people to recover from injury, from cancer, from mental illnesses and things like that. So it really does have a profound effect in that area for a lot of people.
And with what we do here at Willows, even though there's classes, there is the ability to chat to the instructors around adapting classes for them or why they should be doing yoga.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I always ask people why.
Yeah.
And I just like to check in to make sure, do they have injuries? Are they recovering from anything? And most of the clients are really open. And the reason they've come to yoga is because their doctor or their therapist has said you should probably go and practice yoga or mindfulness. Without speaking out of turn, I had a lady who had a full mastectomy, and she's come along to yoga, and she's finding that the yin yoga is really, really helping with her recovery. She's just blown away by it. She came in one day and went to a class and had been in pain, and she said, I left and I got out of the car and I was like, wow, I don't know any pain. So there's a lot of those little experiences where the penny drops for people.
Yeah. That is so good. And going back to your point of one of your passions is facilitating, and as part of that, I've got here in my hand a draft of a new workbook we've come up with. And you're going to be facilitating a 6-week program around realigning mind, body, and breath. What sort of things can people expect from this program?
Yeah, well, I think, as I was saying before, we talked about people not knowing themselves. And I've, over the years of teaching, discovered that there's a big disconnect for most people. What I mean by that is a disconnect from the body. Their lives are lived through their eyes and sort of out in the world. And so there's you and I have come from a sporting background, so we have good body awareness. We have maybe good hand-eye coordination. A lot of people don't have that. So that's one benefit, that you start to get a deeper awareness of your own physical bodies, your abilities and inabilities, and your limits. Secondly, with the breath work, the average person takes around 15 to 25 breaths a minute. That's the average person. So I'm not talking an athlete or someone practicing yoga. So the average human being that's not involved in sport, 15 to 25 breaths a minute. And that's really just overworking the nervous system. And so we want to try and teach people to breathe more efficiently. And it really helps to keep the body in, or keep the nervous system in that parasympathetic state, so that relaxed state. And then the other aspects that we explore this of mindfulness, it's just about connecting to yourself. And then when you can connect to yourself and have a better understanding of who you are, then you have a better understanding, how can I word this? Your ability to interact with other people becomes more authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited by it. For those that want more information, we will be having a workshop May 26th where anyone can come along, and you'll be having a chat about what the program's about, and also education. If people just want some more information, they can do it. They don't have to do the 6-week program. They can come along to that workshop. But those that want to, the 6-week program will start in June. They'll be getting weekly emails. They'll be getting a very thick digital workbook, journaling, access to you, having 2 dedicated classes per week that specifically for this program, but they're also going to be able to access all the other yoga programs as well that we have, and also our digital yoga programs to supplement it. So I'm really excited by this program. It's the first one we are undertaking here at Willows along the lines of breath and yoga. So I'm really excited. to see what comes off the back of it, and also to introduce people to some new concepts with regards to their training.
Yeah, that has me excited. I think people understand that yoga is a science. I mean, if they understand the different aspects of the mind. There's yoga psychology. There's all these different aspects of yoga that people just aren't aware of because, as you were saying, it gets fitnessized. It becomes in maybe just a workout, a bit of stretching. And so the length and breadth of the wisdom of yoga runs so deep that, I'm still learning 15 years on. So yeah, I'm excited.
So exciting. Yeah. It'll be the first of many that we will be doing, where we are facilitating more education around the practice of yoga, and they'll look out for some other workshops that are coming up as well. Michael, thanks so much for your time. We'll have to have you back because I want to dig a little bit deeper into a lot of what you are saying, and you've got an unbelievable amount of knowledge around what you practice. So thanks so much for coming on, mate. Look forward to the workshop, and we'll see how the program goes. Nice. Thanks, mate. Thanks, guys, for watching. Look out for new episodes of Beyond the Gym coming up over the next few months, and make sure we'll put the link with regards to when the workshop is on. And if you would like to join the full series, we'll also put a link up where you can sign into that. Thank you.